imaging department. And I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Terry Duggan-Jans. I'm currently the DI manager over at St. Clair Hospital. And my lovely assistant today is Angel Anderson, and she is a CT tech over at St. Francis. I think David was really great when he said we did have to collaborate, and we did we have to work with the lab, we have to work with prompt care, and also the intake team. And the circular structure of this intake team, it really softens our department as well as when patients come in through admitting. So I'm going to walk you through this, and Angel will point into our little exam rooms. Patients will come over from the intake team and they will sit in, we're going to call this an on-deck area, it's not a waiting room. But these patients seating area.
The tarmac.
Yeah, the tarmac. And these patients could have to go over to the lab to get their blood drawn first, our certain exams, CT and MRI that need IV contrast, or they could actually be having to drink oral contrast for their CT scan. So this is the on-deck area, and then this first section that we're going to talk about is the section for really scheduled patients. The first section is screening mammography, and these patients would actually change in the room. We have, I think Ben is in the room getting ready to change. And then the next room next to that is our pain management room. And that has a little C-arm in there, and that would be for pain management. Next to that room, we have the radiologist. We wanted to make sure that the radiologist had the shortest distance to a procedure room, and we want to make sure that he's reading rather than walking around throughout the department. Across from that, we have a bathroom, and that's for patients either for pain management or for mammography that would need a restroom, as well as for those patients waiting on the on-deck area. The next area that I'm going to describe is kind of our offstage area. And as you can see, we have our radiology team ready to pull those patients into the exam room. So the intake team would notify us that we had a patient for a CT or MR, etc. And the tech or tech aide would come out and get the patient. So as you can see, we have doors on the opposite side of each room so that the tech can enter that way. Either way, but the patients would be brought into the exam rooms through that back hallway. We have a little staff lounge, which is kind of a hydration station back there. It's very small. And then we do have some shared spaces back here as well. Working with prompt care, we realized that those patients needed easy access to diagnostic imaging, so we have our digital room close in proximity to their department. The other thing is we didn't want prompt care patients being funneled back in those areas, so we wanted to kind of separate those that were scheduled and those that would have to have access to ultrasound, CT, or MRI. So we have a utility room, we have several bathrooms back here and dressing rooms for patients that would be for CT or MRI. We also knew that we had to really isolate MR from the public, and so we have a badge door here, so any patients would have to be escorted by staff so that they would not be in areas of concern. Back in CT and MRI, the techs should have a shared work area so they can help each other out. We also have the MR with the kind of badge door as well. Let's see. One of our biggest challenges for this area was the fact that we had to have certain room dimensions, and that's based upon vendor requirements. And so that was our challenge, making sure that our rooms fit within this area geometry. So we have a futuristic room kind of back here. This is kind of a storeroom, but it also will be turned into maybe an exam room as we grow. So I'm going to hand this off to Linda, our neighbor in the lab.
Good neighbor, I hope.